So, today we're going on a bit of a journey into the dark architecture of the psyche. This is a place where that familiar, cozy home of your identity suddenly becomes a very, very strange space. We're going to use some pretty heavy ideas from philosophy and psychology to map out a descent into the self, a head on confrontation with the void, and then, maybe, see how a new kind of strength can be forged right from the ashes. Man, this quote just sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? It's a really disorienting thought. The idea that the person you think you are is just a costume. That's the central unsettling truth we're going to be digging into. So let's start the descent. All right, so our journey starts in the conscious mind, the part of ourselves we think we know inside and out. The sources we're looking at describe this as a kind of fortress, a home that's been meticulously designed to feel safe, logical, and totally under our control. Think about it like this. The hallways of this fortress are all decorated with our achievements, our logic, our social identity. Everything is put in just the right place to create this perfect sense of order. And, more importantly, to drown out those weird whispers coming up from the psychic basement. The Germans actually have a fantastic word for this feeling, unheimlich. It means uncanny, or literally unhomely. It's that creepy feeling that something is deeply wrong, inside your own home. So that brings us to the ego. In this context, it's not just your sense of self, it's a defensive wall. Its entire job is to hold back all the raw, chaotic, primal energy of the id, that psychic basement where all our instinctual drives live. It's trying to keep all that from flooding the nice, well-lit rooms upstairs. But, as we're about to see, no wall can hold forever. And then, a crack appears in the fortress wall. An invitation arrives, but it's not from a friend, it's from the abyss itself. This is the catalyst, that big moment when everything you've repressed can't be ignored any longer. Picture it, a raven's shadow, a symbol of this dark, unwelcome intelligence. It just spills right through a crack in your defenses. This isn't a battering ram smashing the gates down. It's more like a subtle, creepy invitation, but it signals the end of the old, comfortable order. There's a stranger at the door. Now here's the crucial part. This figure isn't an enemy. It's called the honest guest. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to engage you in a truthful dance. It wants a confrontation with a reality you've been desperately trying to avoid. In a weird way, it's the part of you that has been waiting for this exact moment of reckoning. This dance builds and builds until we hit the climax of this first act, the confrontation. And this is the moment that the self-image you've so carefully built just shatters, like a mirror dropped on the floor. So you finally come face to face with this guest. You're ready for some big revelation, and they're wearing a mask. What is it hiding? What's the truth that's lying behind it? But the twist is, the mask isn't a disguise at all. It's a mirror. It doesn't hide another face. No, it reflects your face, but stripped of every single illusion. It shows you the absolute, raw reality that you built your entire fortress to deny. And this brings us to this core, mind-bending concept, the uncanny double. It's that terrifying flash of insight when you realize the person you call I is just a role you've been playing. It's a costume, and underneath it all is this nameless, primal force, the stranger who's been wearing your face the entire time. Okay, so after the ego gets shattered, where do you go? Well, the journey gets even deeper. It's not just a mental battle anymore. Now the descent becomes visceral. It becomes physical. We enter what the sources call the labyrinth of the body. The journey starts in this strange bronchial forest, like you're literally breathing in the dark energy of the deep. From there, you travel through intestinal tunnels, getting a raw, gut-level feeling for the truth of existence. And finally, you reach the marrow, the absolute core of your being, where you can feel the primal vibration of pure, unfiltered instinct. At the very bottom of this abyss, you don't find some monster you have to slay. No, you find a final, absolute authority, an anti-god, if you will. You find yourself staring right into the cold, dark light of the hollow sun. The sun we see every day gives us warmth, life, comfort. Pretty straightforward. But this hollow sun, this symbol of the dead father, the ultimate uncanny law, it radiates nothing but cold and stillness. It's the physical embodiment of what psychologists call the death drive, that innate, unconscious pull towards non-existence, towards absolute silence. So what does this hollow sun actually do?
Well, it acts like a psychic scalpel. It peels back the last protective layers of the ego, and it shows you that your soul isn't some unique special thing, but that it's actually mechanical, repetitive. Its cold gaze silences that nagging inner critic, the superego, with the deafening roar of the void, manifesting that final, powerful pull toward absolute stillness.
So, after being completely dismantled and taken apart, what's left? Is it just nihilism and despair? Well, not according to these sources. This is the final stage, a rebirth. From the ashes of that old, shattered self, a new kind of sovereignty can be forged. This whole journey of self-creation, which borrows heavily from the philosopher Nietzsche, follows three pretty profound transformations. First, you become the camel, and you learn to bear the full, crushing weight of reality now that all your comforting illusions are gone. Then you become the lion, a destructive force that rejects old duties and tears down all the hollow values you just inherited from society. And finally, from that cleared ground, you emerge as the child, innocent, creative, and totally free to forge your own authentic values from a state of pure potential.
And that brings us right back to where we started, but now with a completely new perspective. We've journeyed through the fortress of the self, we met the honest guest, and we stared straight into the void. So the final question is this, and it's for you. In the architecture of your own psyche, this house you live in every single day, are you really the master, or are you too just a guest completely unaware of what's stirring in the forgotten basement below?